Taurus, steady-hearted soul, these final days of May carry more meaning than they first appear to. May 24 and 25, 2026 are not simply dates on a calendar. They feel like a quiet opening in your life, as though something rooted beneath the surface is finally rising toward the light. 3 blessings are already moving closer to you now: grounded success, gentle abundance, and the kind of peace that settles softly into the body after carrying too much for too long. This message is more than encouragement. It is confirmation, arriving exactly when your spirit is ready to hear it. So let me ask you honestly, Taurus, what if the slower seasons, the silent effort, and the hopes you carried through exhausted mornings were never signs that life forgot you, but preparation for what is unfolding now? The fact that you found this message is not random. Something deeper has been aligning quietly beneath the surface for longer than you realize. If your intuition has been whispering that life is beginning to soften around you, trust it. This moment is not only about astrology or signs in the sky, it is about your life finally opening with grounded clarity. The energy around May 24 and 25 carries a calm steadiness your body feels before your mind can explain it. You no longer need to force outcomes or hold everything together through exhaustion. This season is asking something different from you now. It is asking you to receive. Maybe you have already noticed the shift in small ways, a deeper breath arriving naturally, the urge to clear your space, open windows, and let warm spring air move through your home. A calm blooming quietly in your chest, like soil waking beneath late May sunlight. None of that is accidental. Your roots are stretching deeper, preparing your inner world for something new to take hold. And Taurus, while these blessings may appear through money, opportunity, or visible success, their deeper purpose reaches beyond the material. What is truly returning is alignment, a restoration of the part of yourself that kept growing quietly, even during seasons when nothing seemed to move. What unfolds now does not arrive loudly. It comes gently, the way morning light spreads across open fields, soft, certain, alive. Like Psalm 37:4 reminds us, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Right now, those words feel less like a verse and more like a current moving quietly through your life. Before we go deeper, take a breath with me for a moment. Thank you for being here. Every comment, every like, every moment of presence helps this space continue growing into something healing and honest, a place where the things your spirit has quietly been calling toward itself can keep unfolding. And Taurus, what is opening next is not small, so let yourself anchor into what already feels true within you. Speak it out loud, write it in the comments. You can say, "I am ready to receive the grounded blessings unfolding for me on May 24th and 25th, 2026. Or, "I welcome peace, abundance, and aligned growth into my life this May." When you speak those words, you are doing more than participating. You are meeting life halfway. You are offering your quiet yes to what has already started moving toward you. After long seasons of feeling unseen, the heart sometimes forgets that waiting was never punishment. It was preparation beneath the surface, like roots drinking deeply before the first bloom appears. And now, Taurus, something inside you has ripened. The timing that once felt distant is finally beginning to meet you where you stand. These last days of May carry a gentle rhythm of restoration, not dramatic or overwhelming, more like earth warming after rain, or sunlight moving slowly across the floor in the early morning. This is what healing feels like, when your body finally stops bracing against life and softens into trust again. It is not asking you to fight harder, it is asking you to release the pressure you were never meant to carry forever. The universe no longer needs proof of your worth. It has already witnessed how many times you quietly kept going, even when it felt like no one else noticed. Because of that, Taurus, the energy of truth arrives now, not to test you, but to recognize you. It feels like a quiet acknowledgement saying, your effort mattered, your silence was heard, and what you carried privately is finally rising into the light. This healing is not about life suddenly becoming fair. It is about your spirit returning to alignment after feeling disconnected for too long. Stability has never been optional for you. It is part of how your soul stays rooted. And when that steadiness is shaken for too long, it can feel like something essential inside you has gone missing. That is why these final days of May matter so deeply. For the first time in a long while, the ground beneath you feels steady again. Not because you forced everything into place, but because grace quietly met you where you are. Sometimes life does not open the door the moment you knock. Sometimes it waits until your spirit softens enough to trust what is unfolding naturally. So if you feel called to slow down, clear your space, breathe more deeply, or spend more time in your own calm, listen to that gently. You may wonder if this growing ease means you are falling behind. But peace is not the absence of movement. It is alignment settling into your nervous system. What is approaching you now is not arriving because you exhausted yourself chasing it. It is arriving because you finally became still enough to receive it. You did not surrender because you lost hope. You surrendered because you began understanding the wisdom hidden inside, waiting. And Taurus, life has a quiet way of returning what once felt out of reach, often in forms we never expected. Maybe there were nights you carried your hopes silently through the dark, or mornings when your prayers stayed tucked quietly inside your chest. Either way, you were never alone in those moments. So if your spirit feels calmer lately, trust that softness instead of questioning it. You are no longer being asked to sprint through life. You are entering a season of receiving. As the energy around May 24th and 25 builds, you may notice that the things you once chased are beginning to move toward you naturally, slowly, without pressure. That is not coincidence. It is life responding differently because something inside you shifted first. And what is unfolding now touches several parts of your life at once. In your work and sense of purpose, something meaningful is beginning to open. You no longer need to prove your worth through exhaustion just to be seen. The right opportunity or change in direction will arrive with a strange sense of familiarity, as though your spirit already recognizes it. This is not about settling, it is about resonance. You will know it by the way your body responds. Your shoulders soften, your breath deepens. The answer rises naturally before your mind starts searching for certainty. And once you stop shaping yourself for approval, life begins meeting you as you truly are. The experiences entering your world now reflect your real worth back to you gently, without asking you to become someone else first. Just as meaningful as these outward blessings is the return of inner calm. You may crave quieter evenings, softer light, slower mornings, or the comfort of a candle glowing nearby after a long day. That is not withdrawal, Taurus. It is restoration, settling into your system. Your nervous system is learning how to exist without constant urgency pressing against it. Sometimes this energy looks like stillness instead of movement. Open windows, soft clothing, warm spring air moving through your home, moments where you choose peace over pressure. Let your body guide you instead of pushing past its signals. It already knows when the soil within you has become fertile again. Sometimes the strongest step forward is becoming still enough to hear what life is trying to place gently into your hands. And right behind that calm comes another blessing, abundance. It may appear through unexpected money, delayed payments finally clearing, support arriving at the right time, or opportunities resurfacing naturally. None of these moments are random. They reflect the patience, care, and faith you continued offering even when nothing seemed to move. You have been planting quietly for a long time, Taurus, and now the harvest is beginning to stir beneath the surface. What makes this season different is not only the blessings themselves, but the energy surrounding them. You are no longer receiving from desperation, you are receiving from trust. We live in a world that praises urgency, but what if your softness is what draws abundance closer? Maybe real prosperity is not only measured by what arrives, but by the peace with which it reaches you. So if something unexpected appears during these final days of May, an invitation, a message, or support arriving in a surprising way, pause before questioning whether you deserve it. Allow yourself to receive it fully. Not every blessing arrives loudly. Some enter quietly, like sunlight warming the floor through glass, or spring air drifting through an open room. Life does not always announce its miracles with noise. Sometimes they move softly beneath the surface, waiting for you to trust what has already been growing. And now that your spirit is softening into that trust, things are moving toward you differently. There may be moments when someone enters your life or returns after distance, and your body recognizes something familiar there before your thoughts can explain it. As a Venus-ruled sign, Taurus has always longed for connection that feels lasting and emotionally safe. But what is unfolding now reaches beyond surface attraction. It feels more like being deeply recognized, as though someone sees the part of you that quietly existed beneath all your guarded layers. As the energy around May 24th and 25 continues building, someone may enter your orbit carrying a presence that mirrors something deeply aligned within you. It could be someone from your past, appearing differently because you have changed, or someone entirely new whose timing feels strangely natural. The version of you standing here now no longer needs another person to repair emptiness or confirm your worth. Your sense of self has roots now. What once felt hollow has become steady ground. Because of that, the connection unfolding ahead carries a different energy, shaped by growth, emotional maturity, and mutual understanding. And this person may not arrive in the form you expect. It could be a collaborator, a mentor, a guide, or simply someone whose presence settles naturally into your life with surprising ease. The connection feels less like force and more like recognition, as though their path was always meant to cross gently into yours. If that moment arrives, Taurus, do not dismiss it too quickly or reduce it to coincidence. Life rarely moves through dramatic signs. More often, it unfolds through quiet alignment, through feelings your body recognizes before your mind fully understands them. And when you stop living in constant self-protection and allow your nervous system to soften, you naturally begin drawing in people whose presence feels peaceful instead of overwhelming. The people meant for you do not arrive to overpower your path or disappear behind it. They walk beside you with steadiness and honesty. That is the kind of connection opening toward you now, one rooted in trust rather than imbalance. Astrologically, deeply aligned connections are often linked with Venus, Neptune, or the North Node, energies that feel magnetic and strangely familiar. But exact transits matter less than what you feel inside yourself. If someone enters your thoughts and your chest softens instead of tightening, or someone from the past returns and your spirit leans gently forward instead of pulling away, pay attention to that. The soul rarely speaks through logic first. It arrives as quiet knowing, warmth in the chest, or the feeling of being understood without needing to explain yourself completely. But Taurus, this person is not here to rescue you. You already carried yourself through the hardest seasons, and now you are stepping into a different kind of connection. What you are ready for now is reflection rather than rescue. A connection that reveals how much you have grown and how love no longer needs pain to feel meaningful. There is strength in standing beside someone without losing yourself to keep the bond alive. This kind of love does not consume you. It creates room for who you already are. So if your heart has quietly wondered whether you are meant to walk this chapter alone, this energy may already be answering you in ways softer than certainty, but deeper than coincidence. Still, the deeper message is not only about another person entering your life, it is about your readiness to meet them honestly. open, grounded, unhidden. So if old memories resurface, a name keeps returning to your thoughts, or even a stranger awakens something deeper than attraction, pause before rushing to define it. Sometimes another person arrives as a mirror, reflecting the healing work you have already done within yourself. Some energies pass quietly through our lives, while others carry a presence so unmistakable your body feels it before words can explain why. Taurus, that is the atmosphere surrounding these final days of May. The energy around you now is not frantic or forceful. It carries a grounded pull instead, asking you to become more conscious of the life you are ready to hold. The energy around May 24 and 25 speaks of intuition, emotional awakening, and deeper alignment with yourself. This season is not asking you to push harder, it is asking you to participate fully in your own becoming. Readiness is not measured only by ambition, but by capacity. Can you hold what is arriving with steadiness? Can you care for it gently once it enters your life? If possibility has ever rested quietly in your hands while fear kept you from claiming it, this may be the moment asking for your yes. Life is no longer asking you to chase until exhaustion. It is asking you to root yourself deeply and allow growth to rise naturally from there. That is why small rituals can feel meaningful now. Sitting quietly with a journal and allowing your thoughts to spill onto the page becomes more than reflection. It becomes intention made visible. When you write down what no longer belongs in your life, an old wound, fear, or belief you have outgrown, you remind yourself that the soil within you is ready for something new. Old grief, resentment, or outdated ideas about love and worth may finally ask to be released instead of carried forever. Let those feelings rise without judgment. This moment is not about punishment or regret. It is about laying old weight down gently so your spirit has room to keep blooming. Because this season is not asking you to reject your past, Taurus. It is asking you to transform your relationship with it. The pain you once carried is becoming part of the soil nourishing your growth now. Nothing you survived was meaningless. And when it feels right, you may feel called to offer those written words to the flame. Watch the paper curl softly as smoke rises into the air. Let the fire witness your release. Let the warmth carry away the weight you no longer need to hold so tightly. This is not about shame, it is about transformation. A quiet reminder of how much you have carried and how deeply your spirit deserves room to breathe again. You do not need permission from anyone else to begin this shift. Your body already recognizes what your mind is still learning to trust. Your breath has softened. Your thoughts no longer race the same way. Something inside you that once whispered, "someday," is beginning to speak with calm certainty now. Even small things can become part of this healing language. A violet candle glowing softly nearby, spring air drifting through an open window, or a quiet morning spent honestly with yourself. None of it needs to be elaborate to matter. Presence is enough. Honesty is enough. Sometimes all it takes is placing your hand over your heart and speaking your truth aloud, not for performance, but for permission. Because your heart carries more than emotion, it carries energy. And when your words rise from that grounded place, they begin creating movement through resonance instead of force. So when you say, "I choose peace, I choose grounded success, I choose abundance that honors my alignment," those words become more than hope. They become a quiet agreement between you and the life you are ready to receive. You are no longer exhausting yourself, chasing every answer, Taurus. You are learning how to receive, and that is where real transformation begins. Not through dramatic moments, but through softened shoulders, deeper breathing, and trusting your timing instead of fighting against it. When the noise around you settles, something ancient and wise begins stirring awake again. Whether you call it intuition, spirit, or energy, It responds the moment you stop searching outside yourself and begin listening inward. You do not have to force every door open anymore. You only need to meet life halfway. The energy surrounding these final days of May carries patience, grounded growth, and emotional steadiness. You are no longer here to gather scraps of validation just to feel worthy. You have already done the unseen work. The deeper question now is not, when will life change? But am I ready to let this goodness fully enter my life? And if you listen closely, the answer is already moving through your body. You feel it in your breath, your chest, and the steadiness slowly replacing old fear. You are no longer waiting for someone else to tell you that you are allowed to rest, receive, or take up space fully. And in a world that rewards exhaustion and noise, choosing stillness becomes its own kind of courage. Rest becomes strength. Presence becomes power. The layers falling away now are leaving through clarity, not anger. You are remembering who you were before fear convinced you to question your own worth. And this season, Taurus, is not unfolding through outer chaos. It is unfolding quietly within you. You are no longer moving through life from survival mode or constant tension. A steadier presence is growing inside you now, one rooted in softness, maturity, and a deeper sense of direction connected to who you truly are. Real strength was never about controlling every outcome. It comes from knowing your center and returning to it whenever life becomes loud. You no longer need to explain yourself endlessly or reshape your truth just to make others comfortable. Alignment does not need performance. It exists quietly on its own, and Taurus, you are finally learning how to live from that grounded place fully. Not by making yourself smaller, but by allowing your spirit to take up space naturally. So slow down for a moment, light the candle, burn the paper, sit with yourself honestly, and feel what it means to know deep in your body that you are finally ready for what is trying to grow through your life now. The ground beneath you has become fertile again. Life is not demanding perfection before it opens. It is simply waiting for your willingness to meet it halfway. And the moment you softly say yes to yourself, something begins to move. Not because you suddenly became worthy, but because you kept believing through every quiet season when no one else could see how hard it was. This is what integration feels like. Not only understanding a lesson, but becoming it. You are no longer only dreaming about a different life. You are preparing yourself to live it through small, grounded choices. Protecting your peace, clearing emotional space, choosing what nourishes you, and allowing yourself to say no without guilt. That is not rebellion, it is self-trust returning to your body. And Taurus, there is a quiet shift that happens when someone stops searching for light outside themselves and finally realizes they are already standing inside it. A softer confidence begins to rise. You understand that purpose does not need applause to be real. Sometimes the deeper miracle is not what arrives externally. It is the moment you stop abandoning yourself in order to receive it. If you have spent years waiting for relief, reassurance, or the next opening, these final days of May feel like a turning point. Not because life is rewarding your pain, but because your resilience has rooted deeply enough to support something new. Every moment you chose clarity, kindness, or hope when life felt uncertain became a seed planted beneath the surface. And now, those seeds are beginning to bloom within you already. So let this be the moment you stop asking whether you are allowed to fully step into your life. Let it become the moment you quietly say, I am ready. Because who you are becoming did not happen by accident, Taurus. It was shaped through everything you survived, released, and chose to heal instead of carrying forever. Your growth was never invisible. What mattered most was that you finally began recognizing your own transformation for yourself. You no longer need to wait outside the door for permission to enter. The door has already been open. It was never asking for perfect timing or flawless certainty. It was waiting for your presence. And Taurus, If you have stayed with this message this far, pause for a moment with your whole body, not just your thoughts. Let these words settle somewhere deeper inside you. So many people wait until they feel completely healed or completely ready before allowing themselves to move forward. But life rarely unfolds that way. Most miracles begin quietly, in the moment something inside you whispers, yes. And maybe that whisper is already rising within you now. Maybe the clarity you have been searching for has been slowly waking inside your chest this entire time. What if every delay, every closed door, every quiet ache was never rejection at all? What if those slower seasons were preparing you for the life now beginning to open in front of you? And what if May 24th and 25, 2026 are not just dates, but a gentle turning point where ease, abundance, and alignment begin finding their way back to you naturally? You have done far more than survive. You have reshaped yourself from the inside out. You released fears, stepped into unfamiliar emotional ground, and grew in ways that may not have looked dramatic from the outside, but changed everything within you. That is real transformation. Quiet, deep, and rooted enough to change the foundation of your life. And now the trust you carried through uncertain seasons is beginning to return as opportunity, timing, and those three grounded blessings slowly unfolding toward you. So pause and ask yourself honestly, what have you been resisting that may already be ready to bloom? What doors have started opening while you still stood waiting at the edge? And what would happen if you simply allowed yourself to say, I'm ready? Because life is not asking for perfection, it is asking for openness. This season is not about forcing yourself to deserve more. It is about aligning with the stronger, steadier version of yourself that already exists beyond fear. And if something inside this message touched you deeply, honor that feeling. Speak your intention aloud. Leave a comment below and let your voice become part of the energy you are stepping into now. You can write, I am ready to receive my triple blessing on May 24th and 25th, 2026. Or, I welcome peace, grounded success, and aligned abundance into my life this season. These are not empty words, Taurus. They are intentions planted into fertile ground, and when spoken honestly, they begin shaping the way you move through the world. They remind your spirit that receiving is no longer far away, it is already beginning. And truly, thank you for being here and sharing this moment. Every comment, every kind word, every quiet act of connection adds to the grounded energy we are creating together, one rooted in healing, remembrance, and trust. Because this message is not only about signs or predictions, it is about remembering who you have always been beneath the pressure and waiting. So if something shifted inside you today, do not rush past it. Let it settle gently into your body. The energy is ready, the alignment is already unfolding, and the doorway ahead of you is standing quietly open now.